Welcome, everybody. I want to review with you this powerful new weapon that we got on Primerica Online. I use the word weapon, but it's a tool, okay? So let me log on with you and walk you through exactly where it is and give you an example, a client example, the way I would use it with them, the way I would explain it. So watch this. Click on here, Primerica Online, and click OK and go to Products right here, the Products tab. Click on Investments and scroll down to the lower left corner here, right over Morningstar. There it is, Refinitiv. There is the new product name. And with the new owners, now we've got them back on platform here. So you click on there, and this is what you do. So I'm going to give you an example of a young client, husband and wife, that want to invest and plan their retirement. So we're going to go over like a Roth IRA example. We're going to use the Invesco Comstock. You can use any company. I'm just using that one. It's a large cap value stock, so it's not very aggressive. So let me load that in here, ACSTX, and click this button on the right, the blue button, search, and there it is. So now that it's on the left, you want to move it over to the right. You have to click that little checkbox right there, and that moves it over to the right. So we're going to give the client an illustration of what it would look like, right? Or what it looked like in the past. So click there, click on this little toggle button here, and here we go. We got Comstock right here. Okay, it's one mutual fund. So if you were using multiple mutual funds, you would click over here, Portfolio. So let's just leave it at that. We're going to open the account with $100, okay? We're going to open it up for $100, and we're going to click Custom here, because we want to plan their retirement. They're a young couple, so let's go 35 years. We're going to give a 35-year time period because they're that young. So we'll go back to, let's do 1987, which was right prior to Black Monday happening. So if you don't know, Black Monday was when the stock market crashed. And I like to use examples of long-term, because in there, you have good years in the market, you got bad years in the market. You're not misleading the client. You're letting them look at the ups and the downs of the market. So if you click here, then you scroll down, fees. That's the next one. You notice here it's on standard schedule. You leave it there, okay? Standard schedule, and then click on investment strategies. And the investment strategy we're going to use is investing. If you notice, we could use invest, we could use withdraw, we could use liquidate. But right now, we're going to use invest. So we're going to invest. We're going to get the client to invest at least one Roth, the maximum $500 a month. And we're going to invest that each month over all those years. And you have to go all the way to the right here and click that check. If you don't click the check, it won't lock it in. And then you'll wonder, why isn't this working? So that's it. That's what you enter as your input. We invested $100 initially, and we're investing the Roth IRA $500 a month every 1 month over all those years, and click apply. And this tells you the initial investment is less than the $1,000 minimum. Is it all right anyway? Click OK. And this is your long track record of all those years. But let me give you the output that the client will look at. This is what you would look at. But if you click here in the right corner, click on that, and it'll give you a very clean report. It's very easy, to explain it to the client. So you scroll down, and when you use this report, use every page. Compliance-wise, you are required to use every page of these, right? But the one that you're really going to look at and talk with the client about most is this one here. So this is, let me enlarge this a little bit. So this is the example that we entered, $100 a month, open that up in March. All the way to the end of the year, we added $500 in each month. And then every year after that, we maxed out their Roth. So if you scroll all the way down, you're going to notice that the total invested amount, $210 grand with $100, right? So that's your total investment amount. So then what I explained to the client is, and there's charges. This is a loaded mutual fund. So you will get charges in, and the longer you own the product, the more it grows in value to your charges go down. So this illustrates that. If you notice, The longer you invest, the larger the value of the account, the charges decrease. They go down, they're lessened the larger you have. So the charges decrease. It's right there. You could explain it. They could visually look at it. There it is. And eventually, when you get all the way down to $1 million, if you notice, there's no more loads. The charges decreased all the way down to zero there. Now, you've invested this much. We've charged you this much. What's a good number? What amount of money would you be happy with? And they'll tell you like $500,000, 600,000. But then you tell them, well, let's look at what it grew to. So you go over to market value right here, and you scroll down, and you look at what it's worth right now. And you look and say $1,652,000. And they're usually blown away with this number. So in this illustration, this average annual rate was just over 9.8% a year. The FNA uses 9. This is an actual investment. This is actually what it did. It averaged just over 9.8. That's including all the charges and everything. Mr. and Mrs. Client, you now have $1.6 million in this example. And I want you to look at things here. Like there are years where it's negative. Like if you scroll right here and you look at that year right there and you go negative 17.7%. We're not going to worry about that. We're going to just keep dollar cost averaging in your money and look at the next year what it did. Like most people, they get emotionally scared when the market goes down. And I'm telling you, the market will go down. There's no way it won't go down. But normally when it goes down, it goes back up. And you can look at the illustration right here where it went down and it went up again. And then let's look at the next time. It went down 2 years in a row. It was almost even 1 year. And then next year, 2008, was a terrible year. But you don't panic. You just keep investing your money because you're getting it at a lower price. This is the price. Let me explain it to you. Net asset value is the price of the mutual fund. So if you notice here, when it went down, the price dropped to under $11. So it was almost $18 and $19 the years prior where you were happily investing in it. Now that it's under $11, you want to invest more money if you can, but don't stop investing. And look, after the negative years, positive, had another little negative year, positive, negative. So I just want you to understand that the market's going to go up and the market's going to go down, and we're going to charge you the money. It's all written right there. But I think the charges are well worth it. Wouldn't you agree that if we can change what you invested, $210,000 over a lot of years, goes a little bit every month, and grow it into $1.6 million when you're ready to retire, it was worth the charge, wasn't it? And they say yes. Now, let's go over how this would look like in retirement, okay? Because this was an example of you accumulating the money. Now let's look at you withdrawing the money in retirement. So now your retirement age. Let's remember this number here because that's what's in your retirement account. And now we're going to use the equity income fund, right? We're not going to leave it in a large cap stock fund when you retire. We want you to have stocks, bonds, a little cash, and this one mutual fund gives you all of that. And let me give you the example of what I mean. Again, let me reiterate. You can use Invesco, Templeton, American Fund. You can use whatever you want. But when you're going from the accumulation period to the retirement period, if you use the exact company, there's no charge. The client's not charged, okay? So that's why I'm using this example. So let's use the equity income, and I click on that. And I want to let the client know, I click profiles this time, and I just want them to look at what is in equities. If you look here, equities is stock. This is how much is in stock. This is how much is in bonds, and this is how much is in cash and others. I nicknamed this the Millionaires Mutual Fund. It's not named the Millionaires Mutual Fund. It's named the Invesco Equity and Income Fund. But the reason I nicknamed it that is if you're a millionaire, you've got stocks and you've got bonds and you've got cash. And now in this example, you are a millionaire and you're ready to retire. So what we do is we'll close that out. Let's go back to reports, and we moved it over here, and now we're going to go to hypothetical. So now we click that toggle again, and now we're at Invesco Equity Income. Now the investment amount, if you remember, was 1,652,000. I'm just going to round that number. Okay. And then let's look at 25 years track record, because when you retire, if you live 25 years, that's good, right? So let's hit custom and we'll go back 25 years, 0315, 1997. That's a 25-year time period. Now you look at charges, click on the drop box and click none. Why? Because there's no charge now. That money already got charged as it went in. Now all you did was move it out of Comstock into equity income, and now you're going to withdraw. So if you go to investment strategies here, hit the drop box, hit withdraw. So what do we want to withdraw? In this example, I'm not going to withdraw dollars. I'm going to withdraw annual percentage of 5. So we're going to withdraw 5% each year, so every 12 months. So what we'll do, Mr. Client, Mrs. Client, is we're going to take 5% a year, move it into your money market account, and then every month you'll take withdrawals of that and you'll live off of that income. Now remember, you have to click this checkbox here or it won't lock it in, and then you click apply. And so let me give you the report that the client will look at. So click right up here, the little red box that creates PDF for you. And again, clean report, looks nice, easy to explain, but let me give them, here's a way I tell them, I say, look, Mr. and Mrs. Client, this is what you invested, right? And they say, yeah. I go, wrong. That's what your investment grew to. You invested 210. Remember, you only, I need you to understand this, Mr. and Mrs. Client. You invested 210 grand over all those years, little bit at a time. It grew to $1.6 million. But that's what's in your retirement account when we moved it over. We didn't charge you a dime. There's no charge. And now we're going to withdraw 5% of the market value that's right here. And this is the last 25 years. Would you agree, Mr. and Mrs. Client, that our last 25 years, we had some good years, we had some rough years, we had some really bad years, we had some really good years, right? So 25-year track record really gives you a good idea of what to expect, okay? So here's your $1.6 million, and we're going to withdraw money. And if you notice, 80 grand almost year one, and then 102, and then 100, 114, 115. The market dropped a little, so you withdrew less, 96, but then the market went up. You withdrew 117 and 121 and 127. We scroll down after 25 years, you have withdrawn almost $3.1 million. Out of how much money did you invest? And they'll tell you $1.6 million. And you go, no, it wasn't $1.6 million. It grew to $1.6 million. You invested 210. I want you to remember that number, Mr. and Mrs. Client. $210,000 grew to $1.6 million, let you withdraw almost $3.1 million. And then if you died, okay, hopefully you live longer than that, but if you died after 25 years, what would you leave to your kids? Well, let's look at the market value. Here's your market value. You scroll down, and after you withdrawn almost $3.1 million, you have $3.4 million that you will leave to your kids. So if you look at the 3.4 plus the 3.1, that's $6.5 million we've created out of investing 210 grand total, which if you break that down, $500 a month. If you broke that down weekly or you broke that down daily, I mean, it's pretty ridiculous. This is the way you can create wealth. It could happen just like this. This is not, telling you that it will. I'm just giving you illustrations of what actually happened in the past if you would have done this at the time. And eventually, I want you to raise your investment from 1 Roth IRA to 2 Roth IRAs maxed out, because then we'll have twice the money. When you retire, you'll have twice the money. You can leave twice the money if you invested twice the money, right? How do you do that? You come work with me. You let me train you, teach you, license you. Wouldn't you agree that everybody after I've explained this all to you, wouldn't you agree everybody needs this? Yeah. And if I could train you and license you, and you could work 1 evening a week, and you could earn an extra $800, $1,000, $1,200, whatever it is a month, extra income, and invest that income, it would change your life forever, wouldn't it? Great, so let's get started. And guys, that's the way I use this. The greatest way to really learn it is to practice it. Just like I just went over it with you, practice it, practice it, practice it. I learned to use this because I played with it for hours and hours and hours. And now that Primerica's brought it back, and we appreciate that very much. Thank you very much, home office. You learn to use this and you're a pro. Let me tell you, the clients are wowed. The new reps are wowed. When you explain this and a new rep's with you and they're watching you, they're going to want to get investment licensed. So it's a win-win-win for everybody. It's a win for the client, for the new recruits, for the trainer, for the home office, for the investment company, for everybody.